continuing with the SSJS enablement, WS-Proxy, and I hope you have watched my previous video. If not, I would request you to first watch the previous video and then come back. Okay, obviously we'll do the recap because this is quite interesting and also little diligence required to understand the functionalities. Okay, so let's directly jump to the demo. In the previous session, what we did was we were basically trying to run a program, okay, where we were basically calling a describe method for data extension object and trying to see what it retrieved, and then we moved to basically running through all the properties name. Okay, we first went to the describe method, got the response. Okay, after the response we received, we parsed the response, and from the properties we fetched all the properties name and printed it. Okay, and then in the third part, what we did was we tried to retrieve the data extension based on the properties name. Basically, this line number 7 call was basically fetching all the properties, okay, and then we were trying to retrieve, and then we found that not all fields are retrievable, right? Then we stopped there. Today we'll do even few things, so let's first recap quickly. Okay, so here I'm not going to explain the full functionality or the full line of code what is written here, but simply we are doing the describe method. We are basically calling the describe method, okay, and validating what response we are getting. So I'll quickly run you through this code so that you can recap. So demo 1, okay, and I save and publish this, and I hit a run, right? So this is what we used to get. We get the request ID and the result, okay, the result set, and inside the result set, one of the property is the results. Inside the results, one of the properties is properties, okay. So we were more concentrating on these properties because for the retrieve function, one of the function argument, okay, or the ordinal that we need to pass is the property name. So these are the property name, and let's take this example. So the name is object ID, data type is string, value type is XSD string, okay. Is creatable, means can we create this particular property? It says no. Can we update this particular property? It says yes, we can update, okay. Can we retrieve this object? This property name says yes. Can we query through this object ID? It says false, okay. Is filterable, so can we apply the filter to this? It says false, okay. So all this metadata is basically defined here. Fine. Let's quickly move to the other one. So here, since we are interested with the properties name, okay, so I'll create another code resource demo 2. Okay. So yeah, simply what I've done is similar to the first code, okay. This function, describe function. After that, there is another function I said fetch retrievable properties, and then from there I basically I'm passing these properties, okay, from this response, from the result set, that properties array, and then from the array I'm basically just extracting the name from the property and then creating an array and assigning to the columns. Okay, we have discussed this in our previous session. So I'll just show you the result. So the result would be all the properties that belong to a data extension object. Okay, so these are all the properties name. Fine. So this was all good. So we encountered an issue when we basically, here what I'm doing is, so I'll start from here. I'll start explaining for here. Okay. So first I'm defining SOAP object. You can define any object, Marketing Cloud object, right? I have shown you from where you can get all the objects name and all details. Then what I'm doing is I'm describing that object. I'm calling a describe func method for that particular object, and then I'm parsing that response to fetch all the properties, okay, and assigning it to the calls. Basically, is a column property. Okay, here line number 7, and this is basically I'm calling a fetch retrieval properties, which I just showed you. Okay, after that I have a filter. Okay, here what I'm doing is, if I want to basically filter any object, okay, using a simple operator function, here what I'm doing is property simple operator and passing the value here. So I'm saying filter by customer key equals to this particular customer key. So I'm trying to filter data extension, go and search for this data extension, okay, and then I have another function called retrieve. To retrieve SOAP object, here it takes the SOAP object which needs to be retrieved, okay, the columns for which it needs to bring the values for, and apply the filter. Based on this filter, search that particular object, right? So when we were doing this, we are getting an error. Okay, why an error? Because not all the columns here, because I'm fetching all the columns and assigning here, and not all columns are retrievable, right? So let me show you what error we get. We have already discussed this as well, so I'm moving fast. Okay, save this. Obviously it will throw an error. Okay, I'm just trying to show you what error we'll get. So like sendable data extension field, sendable subscriber field, template fields, client properties, parent properties, ID, owner, and these particular objects are not retrievable. Okay, there might be other condition as well, but let's take this. Okay, so here we, in our previous session, we showed up to this point. Okay, and after that I think I have this column values. I basically hard coded whatever retrieval and showed you how the response look like. Now what I'll do is in this is the same function. Okay, we have the retrieve SOAP object function, basically doing a API.retrieve. Okay, we are applying a filter, simple filter, customer key equals to data views. Okay, this function basically is parsing the array and then fetching the name. Okay, I'm coming to this retrievable, and the first one was the describe, right? So describe is okay. The only thing that I've changed is this particular one, where we were basically extracting the properties name and assigning it to that column. So what I've done here is everything same. I also assigned a variable called is retrievable, and from that particular list, okay, I fetch the value which is true or false, and I'm pushing that particular name into an array only if this condition satisfied, that is retrievable equals to true. Okay, if this condition satisfies, then only I'm pushing this value. okay, so that the error that we're getting just like now, like we are getting this error, right? I want to fix this error. Okay, so this is the only thing that I made a change. It's the simple. Okay, yeah. So let me create on the code resource. Why I'm creating on the code resource is sometimes Marketing Cloud, sometimes not most of the time, the results gets cached. Okay, and then we sometimes when we're not very sure of our code, we basically find it very hard to troubleshoot what the issue actually occurred. Okay, so the same function, as I said, the only line number 30 we have changed. Okay, and this if condition we added. So let's see. Now, yeah, it doesn't throw any error. Okay, it gives you whatever value that we have supplied. So all the fields, whichever are retrievable, would be retrieved. Okay, and the last demo for today is the same thing what we did just now. The only thing that I'm adding here is a complex filter. So before this we were using a simple filter saying that customer key equals to the value. Okay, so what I did was we had that apply filter function which would apply a filter with property, simple operator and value. Okay, now I created another function called complex filter. So the complex filter will take the left operand, right logical operand or and, okay, and the right operand, and then it will return the left operand with the logical operator and the right operand. Okay, so we need two filters, left and right. So the left operand is similar to the previous one, customer key equals to data view, and the right operand is sendable equals to false. Okay, so I'm adding another property saying sendable equals to false, and the logical operand is basically and. Okay, you can use or also. So I'm just using and. I haven't used any other things. All the other functions remain same. Okay, so let's try this demo 5. Okay, let's save this and let's run this. Right, so we are getting a proper response. Okay, no issue. If you want to, by the time if you have watched it and practicing it, and if you want more examples, you can come to my blog b2.cc.blogspot.com, and then there you have this WS-Proxy tab. So again, here in the tab at the top you can click on WS-Proxy. Okay, and then here you'll see a lot of examples with WS-Proxy. I have added it here a long time before. Definitely all are working examples, but obviously whatever I'm doing currently also, I might be adding them as well here. Currently I haven't added anything that I've demonstrated. Okay, but you can practice on your own. Okay, and if you have any questions, you can basically ask me. I'll try if I can answer your questions. Okay guys, see you in the another session.